Good morning, bro. I don't have a drink. I mean, I'll drink some water. Basically, I recorded the last two videos with a cup of mint tea, and then I saw the comments with so many guys saying that mint tea actually reduces testosterone, which is crazy. I've not actually researched that, so I don't know if it's completely true. But you never really know if the things you're ingesting is actually bad for your health. So I'm not having caffeine anymore, not having mint tea, just basically filtered water. So cheers, bro. You know, as you go on to this path of getting healthier, like we are in this series, but just in general as well, there's this feeling of of restriction, of especially of restriction of enjoyment. And you start to wonder oh, but when can I enjoy myself again? I can't even have coffee anymore. I can't have flavored tea anymore. Can't have sugar and fizzy drinks, can't have snacks. So when do you get to enjoy yourself? You might be thinking that when you think about self-improvement as well. Maybe on those early days where you got onto self-improvement, you discovered my videos. Maybe you did have almost a sense of sadness when you thought about giving up your vices like video games, sleeping with loads of girls, porn, drugs, junk food, sugar, maybe alcohol. And you keep asking yourself but if I give this stuff up, I'm not going to be able to enjoy myself. And I have to remind myself, and I want to pass this on to you, that when we're on this path, the enjoyment comes from the good health. I love having good health, and every step that I take towards it, even though in some way it pains me to give up yet another vice, even as far as just coffee, even as far as mint tea, can't even have certain teas anymore. I'm always reminded when I do commit myself to that change that the fun comes in actually being healthy, in your brain working well, and that's where you'll get the fulfillment from in life. When you have that superhuman brain and body, and you're able to work on that big project of yours, you're able to work on your purpose. That's where the fun, the real fun, the real fulfillment really comes in life. I won't lie to you, those things are really fun. The porn, the video games, drugs, junk food, those things are very stimulating, but they're a different kind. It's like a degenerate fun compared to the fun that comes from you fulfilling your goals and your purpose. Because that degenerate kind, as you know, I explain this a lot on the main channel, is instant gratification. It's only fun to do those bad habits that damage your brain and body right now as you do them. As you're licking the ice cream, that's when it's fun. As you're watching porn, that's when it's fun. As you're playing the game, that's when it's fun. The moment you stop doing those things, the moment you swallow after getting the taste on your tongue from the pizza or whatever, and you've swallowed, that's when the fun stops. The moment that you've X'd off the game and your brain's all fatigued, the fun stopped. The moment that you've got the post-nut clarity, the fun stops. That's it. But now you're actually at a worse point than before. Because if this was your baseline and you've just done one of those bad habits that damage your health, this is what you're like afterwards. So sure, you got to enjoy it whilst you did it, but now your new baseline is here. And since you feel worse, what are you going to do? When you feel worse, you do those bad habits even more. And this is how people go from being so having so much vitality and energy and health and enthusiasm when they were younger to literally just significantly drop and become a weird dark gray shell of themselves by the time they get to our age. And you probably relate to that. We used to be full of so much joy as children because the years hadn't really piled onto us from those bad habits that we were doing. But by the time you discover and get addicted to porn, and then you've been eating junk food for 10 years, your diet at home is 60 to 80% ultra processed because your parents aren't educated, and you're literally just staring at a screen for the last 10 years of your life. There's such a significant difference in your vitality, health, enjoyment of life, enthusiasm, everything, because of those momentary bits of fun that actually leave you slightly worse off. So is it really that fun when your life looks like this? And for most people, it just keeps on going, keeps on going. I actually think my sort of age group of guys who are about 25 to 30, around this, we will be the guys with the worst mental health of any generation around us. because we grew up with this stuff. We've been addicted to this stuff, but many of us have too like high egos to change that. Anywhere from about, let's say, 20 to 30 years old right now, I think we're the worst generation. It actually surprise you. You might think that the younger generation, the guys who are 10, 15 years old, they're worse off. The thing is, even though 5-year-olds have got iPads and iPhones these days, the thing is, a lot of those people are being split apart with the kind of content that they're consuming. So there's a lot of, like, as I keep saying on this series, there's so many 13-year-olds who are in the gym meditating, and they literally laugh at the guy who's watching porn these days. There's so many like 13, 14-year-olds who eat clean, who have heard about stoicism, who don't play video games and like call each other like Jeffries for doing that stuff. They're better off. The guys above us are a bit like, too mature for that. But anywhere from about 20 to 30 years old, we're at risk for this. And so this is where most people's lives look like. So that's not fun. It's stimulation, it's a drug, but it's not actually real fun when you think about giving up those things. It's the exact same thing with even like coffee. Like, your life used to be here, your energy used to be here. And if you are someone who has drank coffee every day for the last like multiple years, 2-3 coffees a day, like I did for probably about 2 years, I basically drank like 1 or 2 or 3 coffees like basically every day. Your energy starts here and it ends up down there. And this is more of the permanent thing. Sure, you get that little short-term, little feel-good emotion, sure. But after that, when the baseline drops, all you're left with is the lack of energy, the lack of fun, lack of stimulation, lack of enjoyment. And so you want that thing more and more, which literally means that all these things are drugs. And so when someone replies to one of my videos and says, like, when do you get to enjoy when do I get to enjoy myself if I get onto self-improvement, if I quit porn, if I quit this? I can't help but just to like look at him like a crackhead and think like, you're literally a drug addict. The video gamers, the anime watchers, the junk food eaters, full on drug addicts, because that's what their life looks like. And this is what a drug does. It feels good right now, but it makes your life worse in the long run. And when you think about the opposite of that, of what we're doing here, when we're optimizing brain and body, and also just, general self-improvement, you do the exact opposite, where there's a dip in enjoyment and comfort right now, where the thing that we're doing is difficult. I just meditated for a few minutes just before recording this video, and it's a lot less enjoyable than just like, randomly watching YouTube or doing something else. I'm drinking like just normal filtered water instead of like a nice enjoyable coffee or flavored tea this morning. There's a dip, isn't there? It's like, to do a lot of this self-improvement stuff, to do a lot of the practices that we'll find out together for building a superhuman brain and body, there's going to be like a dip in pain. There's going to be a dip, which is pain. There's going to be some pain when you do these things. When you go to the gym for the first time, it's painful. When you don't do those bad habits, it's painful. When you're choosing to eat clean instead of like eating some unhealthy food, it's painful right now. But the moments that activity is done, when you've swallowed like the healthy food, when you finish the workout, when you finish the meditation session, the pain is gone. It's disappeared. Now all you're left with is a higher baseline than before. You started here, you dipped down a bit, and now you're here. And so for the guys on self-improvement, this is what their life looks like. It went from this, where we hated ourselves, and now it's looking more like this. And when you have this kind of feeling, that question of when do you get to enjoy yourself when you're being really healthy, you start looking at it like weird. Like almost like the person who's wrote it is a bit foolish. Because I enjoy myself like basically 24/7. When I'm healthy, when I'm fulfilled, when I've been really working on my purpose, I've made huge progress to my goals, you can take everything away from me. I could genuinely sit in like an empty apartment with almost nothing in there, no stimulation. I could just sit in there and I'd be happy and fulfilled because I've done the right things. So it's very powerful stuff. And I realized this 3 years ago when I first discovered the idea that you could actually make improvements in your life and you could get onto self-improvement and become healthier. This concept of instant and delayed gratification really changed my life forever. And I just wanted to pass that on to you this morning. So recently I've been researching a lot more about Superhuman Brain and Body. And like I said yesterday, I've just got that same document open that I made yesterday. It's just like a basic document where I've just been kind of writing almost like a plan for the next few years of what my life is gonna be like. And every time I think long term and I think about purpose in business and I think about, helping the men around the world who listen to my message, I'm reminded of just how important this series of this focus is. Because if I can help you, and also myself, develop the superhuman brain and body, no matter what your interest is, you can do better in it. If you want to be an athlete, you'll be better. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you'll do better. If you want to be a YouTuber, you'll do better. If you want to be a father, you'll do better. So I'll see you tomorrow, bro. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah!